Hello, and welcome to our webinar today entitled Five Ways to Handle Holiday Stress. I'm Janet Neal, the founder and queen bee at the Superbwoman Incorporated, and the founder of the Tribe of Superbwomen, and I'm so glad that you're here. I'm very excited to talk about this topic about holiday stress and how to alleviate it, because the holidays are something that are meant to be enjoyed. And I have learned through trial and error what works and what doesn't work. I wrote an article a few years ago for the Huffington Post. I forget the exact title, but it's something to the effect of 9 things you don't need to do this holiday. And I made a list, and that started with buy a tree, buy presents, have family over. And for those people who read no further, I got quite a few Scrooge comments. But the point of the article is, why do you do these things? Do you do these things because you should do them? Is it because you've always done it that way? And does that work for you any longer? And that's where a lot of the stress comes in. I'll share a story with you about a stressful Christmas for me when I had 3 small children. My kids wanted to decorate the tree. And so, I had to find the bulbs that wouldn't break. So I give them all the bulbs that, the decorations that they could put on the tree. And they decorated it, and it was all in one quadrant of the tree. All the decorations were in one place. And when they went off to bed, I had to rearrange it because it had to look perfect. And I was telling a friend this, and she had this horrified look on her face. And I thought, what? What's wrong? And she pointed out to me, I might have a little bit of a control issue. But that's the way that I did it, because I had it in my head the way that Christmas should look and the way it should be done. And I made sure I did everything, even though I was working full time and I had 3 small children who demanded a lot of attention. I still got the Christmas cards out. I still baked cookies. I still did on and on and on and on. And I didn't enjoy the holidays. I just didn't have time to. I was too stressed out. And so I have learned, to take a step back and to figure out what works, what doesn't work for our family, what doesn't work for me, what is a nice to have, what is a must have, and what is a I don't really need that. So as you see, decorating my house is something I do. And when my daughter gets home, there'll be a tree right behind where I am right now. But I don't push myself the way I used to. So let me share some things with you, my thoughts, my ideas on how to handle holiday stress. I'm sure there are more than 5 ways to handle holiday stress, but we're going to come from the perspective that really it's all about one word, and that word is focus. And focus has 5 letters, and we're going to use those letters to help us. And so I use the word focus because it's really about drawing the attention to what it is that you want. So let's think about the holidays and what is it that you want, and how can you make it the best season ever for you and your family. So let's start with the first letter, and that letter is F. And we're going to say that F stands for fun. So what are the holidays if not fun? Make sure that you include that in your plans. Make sure that whatever brings you joy, you include. Holidays are known for getting together with friends and family. Laughter and joy. Those are things that you want to think of when you think of holiday season. And so make sure that when you're putting your calendar items together and what needs to be done and what should be done, make sure that fun is really at the top of the list, because that is really what it's all about. The next letter is O, and O stands for observation. Be someone who, like I said before, steps back and observes what's going on around you. So often we are so caught up in the day to day that we do not take that time to step back and see what is happening. I had some very wise advice given to me by a friend before I got married years and years ago. And she said, pretend you're someone else standing in your shoes so that you can see what is going on around you. And I thought that was the wisest advice. And I was able to do that. I was able to take that time and kind of, step back and see what was going on and see it through other people's eyes. So do that with the holidays. Do it when you're on your commute. When I'm sitting on the subway, I love to people watch and to observe, the joy, the sorrow, the everyday lives of people. But there's so much going on. I live outside New York City, and oh my goodness, just to observe all the decorations and the interactions with people, so much. At your workplace, observe how people are doing. There are people who have a hard time with the holidays. And so if you're able to see that, you may be able to help turn somebody else's holidays around. And when you are aware of what's going on, then you are better able to deal with the stress that could be coming up. So O is for observation. C is for cheerleading. Be a cheerleader to those around you. If you are a business owner, cheer on your team, give them accolades, give them, as they used to say, attaboys for a job well done. And your family members, those around you, tell them when they're doing something great. Point out the things that make you happy in their behavior, in just their being, because the more that you are encouraging someone else, they're going to be able to turn around and do that for someone else, and that starts to lower the stress all around. So C is for cheerleading. U is for understanding. Understanding, not only understanding others, but really understanding yourself. And this gets back to that article I was referring to. Why do you do the things that you do around the holidays? Why do you feel that you need to do something that you've always done? Is it because it's tradition and you believe in tradition? Is it because it's always been that way and you do it kind of blindly? Or is it because it really means something to you and your family? So take the time to take a look at all the things that you are doing at the holidays and get to the why of why you're doing them. I mentioned the word should early on here, and should to me is actually almost a little bit of a blessing. It's a red flag, so that when you notice a thought, and I get them all the time still, even though I say I live a should-free life, it doesn't mean I don't hear the word should. I should do this, I should say this. But now I can hear it, and I can understand that it's a signal for me to step back and do a little examination and to ask myself, is this true for me or not? Because a should is something that's coming from outside of yourself that you've taken on as true. Very often it is just taking it on without any examination. And so understanding why you're doing something, looking at those shoulds to see whether that's true for you or not, helps to alleviate the stress. Because if you're doing something and that you feel you should do, and you come to understand that it's something that you really believe in, then there is really no stress around that, because the shoulds contain the guilt, which create the stress. And when you are doing things that are a priority in your life, the stress seems to go away. So take the time to understand why you are doing the things that you are doing. And lastly, S, and S stands for sleep. Do not forget this very important piece of living, especially during the holidays, especially during this very busy, busy time. And during the holidays, we all have a tendency to overeat, to overindulge, to drink too much, to do too much. And that can affect your sleep patterns as well. And so, really, it's all comes down to taking care of yourself first. It's like that old saying, on the airplanes that you put your oxygen mask on first before you can help others. And that's what sleep is. Sleep is all about renewing, refreshing your body, giving yourself the fighting chance to start again the next day. And make sure that you allot time for sleep, that you create the best conditions for your sleep as well. And even though, yes, leading up to the holidays, there's a lot to do, you have the ability to schedule your time and make yourself a priority, because if you burn out, if you don't get that sleep, you're not going to be good for anybody, and you're never going to get through all of your to-dos, and you are not going to enjoy the holidays. So please make sure that sleep is at the top of your list. So that's our focus: fun, observation, cheerleading, understanding, and sleep. And when you do all of those things, you cannot help but enjoy the holidays. And that's what we want you to do. We want that to be the goal, to enjoy. So, from me and all of us at the Tribe of Superb Women, I want to say happy holidays to you all. May you enjoy them all. May they be stress-free. And come back and join us in the new year at the Tribe of Superb Women. Enjoy.